Hey, there are many ways a deal can go south, but I believe it really kind of boils down to about three problems that account for most of those deals breaking down. Stick around to find my top 3 deal killers and how to avoid them. Hi, my name is Curtis Turner. I'm a licensed real estate agent in South Jordan, Utah with Exit Realty. So my first deal killer: buyers maxing out their credit cards before going to closing. Now, many first-time home buyers just don't have the furniture, the washer and dryer, those kind of things when they move into a new home. So in their excitement after they get under contract, they go out and they start purchasing the appliances and the furniture that they are going to want, and because they're going to want those available when they move in. But doing this can actually change your debt-to-income ratio. When a lender is ready to fund the loan, they will go and do a final credit check. And guess what? These new purchases, they're going to be on that credit report, and that can actually change the amount that the buyer can qualify for, and they may actually lose the deal. So buyers should make sure that they wait to make those purchases until the loan has been funded, because you will have so many expenses when you do buy a new home. It is advised that you save up a bunch of money so you can pay for these items from that savings instead of using your credit card, and that way you won't affect your credit report. My second deal killer is inspections, finding things that don't match the disclosures that were written down. Inspections can be deal killers, especially when unusual things are found, because buyers are making a huge investment when they buy a new home. They really need to know what the condition of that home is. Now, let's face it, it's expected that there's going to be a few things wrong with a home, because no house is perfect. But the problem arises when you see an inspection that the inspector finds issues like water damage or signs of flooding. But guess what? Those conditions were never put on that disclosure form. So this brings up many questions about what else this house has. What other problems might be found. Home buyers should ask as many questions as they can. They need to get a complete picture of the condition of that home. This will help in making decisions about the negotiating of fixes, or even deciding whether or not they want to go and find something else and just avoid that one completely. A seller needs to also know what's wrong with their home, and they need to be forthcoming with those facts. So disclose everything you know. Don't hide anything, because it's actually is worse when the problems are found by the buyer than if they were actually addressed and disclosed by the seller. Third deal killer: the appraisal comes in too low. If the appraisal is lower than the offer, you have a few options. The first is to ask for a new appraisal. It is possible that the appraiser's kind of screwed up, they missed something, I've actually seen it happen, and that the property is actually really worth the price that was offered. You might also ask the buyer might ask the seller to just sell the price at the appraised amount. Now, the seller could go back to the buyer and they could say, make up that difference between what your appraisal value is and what you offered. It is my suggestion, though, if you are a buyer and buying a home, that you offer what you can actually pay, hoping that a seller is willing to sell at that appraised price can actually backfire on you. I have seen where a buyer offered 5% more than the market value, and this was in the attempt to get it under contract in the hopes that they could renegotiate that appraised value later. Their agent knew full well they couldn't pay for the difference in the loan and the price that they offered. This tactic immediately forced my seller to toss their offer and consider other buyers that had offered less but was still a little bit higher than the appraised value. Since that tactic backfired, it only kind of showed that they were just playing games. And you know, playing games and negotiating in bad faith is not the way to do business. You know, that's just will cause problems down the road. Just can you imagine what those problems would have been 3 to 4 weeks after if this was how they started out the negotiations? I hope this information helps you. I want to say thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.